Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katie and I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4. I also run the budget shop Purple Glimmer Budgets, which is where you're going to find a lot of the products that I use in my videos. You can find my shop on Etsy or also my website, PurpleGlimmerBudgets.com. My husband and I are on a journey to pay off a lot of our high interest debt using the cash stuffing method as a way to control our expenses. If this is something you'd like to follow along with, just keep watching. In today's video, I'm going to be unstuffing my weekly spending wallets. If this is the first time you're watching me, welcome. On this channel, I like to do a lot of cash budgeting things. So cash stuffings, cash unstuffings, savings challenges. I just did a cash condensing. Basically anything cash budgeting related. If that's something you like to watch, definitely consider subscribing to this channel. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is going to be the unstuffing for all of my spending that occurred this week. Let me unlock my iPad. I literally just had it up. Okay, there we go. So I have a spending tracker and I have the same information on both pages. I have everything to the penny on this side, and then I rounded up for cash stuffing on this side. Let me go ahead and turn my iPad into portrait mode so you guys can see the transactions better, and so can I. Also, just kind of a heads up, if you are new to the channel or you haven't been watching my recent videos, this is probably gonna be like my last normal unstuffing, or things are about to get very interesting. My husband was finally let go from his job on Monday. We kind of had an idea what was coming up because his boss has been a complete and utter jerk. He's just been really mean to my husband and just kind of out of control. He's also mentioned that he feels cheated in my husband's salary, because when my husband accepted the job, he negotiated a $25,000 salary increase because their health insurance is absolutely horrible compared to the job that he was leaving. And so the boss has been bitter ever since, and so he kept throwing that in my husband's face, and so it was just a completely awful and toxic situation. In fact, we have reached out to some lawyers to see if there's any recourse we have. He works in Missouri, which is an at-will state. Now, a lot of people think when you work in an at-will state, basically you can be fired for any reason, which is true. However, there are certain reasons that it's illegal for you to fire them. And the timing of his termination is very suspect and could be argued that it falls under one of those protected things that would cause firing him to be illegal. So we are definitely going to be exploring that option. Honestly, I'm shocked that when they let him go, they didn't provide him some sort of severance package, because that's been pretty standard with any time that that's happened. I've actually worked in HR for larger companies. It's pretty standard because basically the company is throwing money at you to make you be quiet and not do anything. So it kind of shields their interest from being sued. So if they legitimately did something illegal, they can give you a severance package, and then you're typically required to sign a release of claim, which waives all of your rights to sue them. So I'm very shocked that they didn't do that, because we've been throwing at them a lot of things saying you're not doing things right, what you're doing is illegal, what you're doing is wrong. And so I thought for sure that it would be a possibility that they would have put some type of severance together for him, and we would have taken it just because they're annoying and we're done dealing with them. But since they did not, we're like, why not? Because typically lawyers will take those types of cases on contingency, so then you don't pay them unless you win money. So we are exploring that. I think he's got a phone call with a lawyer next week. So the cool thing is, again, we had a heads up that this is probably what was going to happen, because he had started exploring some accommodation requests at his job under the American Disabilities Act. And so we have been leaving paper trails for all of the requests. So we do have some evidence that I have compiled onto our computer into a folder, so that way it's easier when we do speak to a lawyer and be like, here's all of the evidence we have. Because I follow a bunch of employment lawyers. They come up in my feed on Instagram all the time. So I'm always watching what they say, because it's just kind of interesting, because I used to work in HR, so it kind of plays into that niche that I know. And then also when I was really young, I wanted to be a lawyer too. So just kind of listening to them argue and talk about cases, it just is kind of fun and interesting to me. So the cool thing is, like, I've seen a lot of what they suggested. So when we were going through this process, I made sure to put as much on record so it could strengthen whatever case we could potentially have, because basically his boss lost his mind when he started exploring his protected rights of exploring accommodations under the American Disabilities Act. And so anyways, that's just kind of a backstory of what we're dealing with right now. So basically, he went from a 6-figure income down to Missouri unemployment maxes out at $320 a week. So we had a very, very drastic reduction in income. I guess that can kind of foreshadow a video that I am planning on recording and putting on here. I know some of you are in this cash budgeting journey to kind of like tackle debt and stuff like that. And a very common debt that people have are credit card debts. Credit cards are unsecured debt. So basically that means that there is no asset that is sheltering that debt. So basically your creditors don't have as much recourse against you as what they might have if you had, like, let's say a mortgage. So I've gone through the process of getting credit card bills down, interest rates reduced, and so forth. Multiple times. In college, I had a lot of credit card debt because I was a broke college student trying to survive, and so I never had credit cards before, and I went super crazy, got like all kinds of credit cards. I don't understand why the companies let me have them, but they did. So I got into a lot of credit card debt there, and so I did a debt freedom program that I'm not a big fan of those. I'm going to talk kind of difference in that video about like a debt freedom program or a debt relief program versus kind of just doing it on your own and exploring the hardships, kind of seeing the pros and cons and what kind of to expect from both. But what I did recently, and I actually did this right when COVID was happening as well, because my husband got let go of his job there because there was a lot of like restructuring and job eliminations and a lot of companies at that point. So we had done the hardship program there. So I kind of knew what to expect because I'd done it before. So I knew one of the first things that I wanted to do when he lost his job was start looking at all of the credit cards. And I'm going to be honest, we have a crazy, insane amount of credit cards. So I'll walk you through what I did with a handful of them from one specific creditor in that video, most likely. So I hopped on there and I called and I talked to them about the hardship program. And so I was able to, for this one creditor, I had credit cards that had minimum payments of around like $700, $800. Well, I was able to reduce those payments down to like $300. And so, and that's once, as long as I continue making those payments that we agreed on, basically my cards will be paid off and there will be good. I'll go into a lot more details on that in that video. If you have any questions for me that you want me to answer in that video to kind of like help you out, if that's a process that you're considering or something that you would find helpful, drop them below and I will go ahead and look through them and try and integrate those in the video. So that's just kind of a heads up of something like that, because I'm going through a really fun, I should say not so fun situation right now. So basically we have some money socked away. I'm just trying to do what we can to make it go really far. So I guess one of the other first things that I did when he lost his job is that I filled out an application for food assistance, so food stamps and stuff. So that's always like an interesting thing, because we always get like denied when it first happens because the income is like way too much. But then like as long as he's still without a job, when the next month rolls around, typically we will get that. So I did that because I want to say in our state, with our family size, we might be able to be eligible for up to like $1,300 in food. So that would be amazing. And that would really help us out a lot. Now there's also the option that we could get on like Medicaid, but I am very nervous about doing that because I know that my children's pediatrician does not accept it. And so I just, with the stress, and we're hoping that this is very, very short term, I'm like, I don't know that that's really a good fit for us. And so we went with like the marketplace coverage. And then when you do that, based upon the income, you can get like tax credit for that. So I just kind of put it based upon like what our income probably will be when he gets his job later on, just so that way, hopefully tax time, like the credits all balance out and we don't end up owing a lot. So I was able to pick a health insurance plan for that because, again, if you've been around here, you've heard me kind of complaining about his company. They don't pay their bills the best. They are constantly behind. They don't manage money well, which is another thing that was happening on with his job because his boss is not very good at that, which he's the CFO, and it's just, he's been there for 6 years and their financial situation's not gotten better. It's only gotten worse, it seems like, as far as what my husband has realized from coworkers who've been there long term and kind of looking at some past financial statements. So anyways, long rant on that, because we know that as of when my husband was employed, they had not paid the health insurance bill for all of their employees for January. They made a payment in February that insurance company applied to the February bill, and then they had said basically unless they got paid by end of day that day, which we have no idea because my husband was let go around like 11:30, they were going to shut off all health insurance for the entire company because they were unpaid, which I can't completely blame them. We've been through a similar situation like this with another company. My husband's had like the worst luck when it comes to some of these companies. Like he'll go in and like find out that there's a lot of like cash problems, and so that was what happened with another company he worked for, and so they ended up not paying their health insurance bill. And that was really fun because that was right around the time that we had our oldest daughter. I mean, luckily what happened is they were able to just go back and pay it, and then the benefits were turned back on. But it's a lot of fun because when we went through that process, I did some like digging on like the legal ramifications of that. And basically, if the company doesn't pay your health insurance, that's technically fraud. But the thing of it is that all you can go after the company for is to get a repayment of the premiums that they took from your paycheck. So if you have all of these medical bills that you were racking up thinking you had health insurance, it doesn't matter. That is now your problem. I mean, you can try and sue them and get it, but like, it's not necessarily gonna be easy to recover that, because at that point, all their obligation is to return the funds that they took from you. There's not as much recourse on forcing them to provide you the health insurance. So I don't trust sending them. I want to say that our COBRA insurance to them would be like $2,500. I don't feel like sending them $2,500 and crossing my fingers that they're going to actually pay the health insurance. So we went on to a marketplace plan, which it's honestly not that much different. I mean, our deductible is like a lot higher, but we're hoping that it's a very short-term thing, so that wasn't a big deal. In my state, we only have options of HMOs or PPOs, and there's like only one company that's PPO, and that's Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's who I ended up going through. There's also Ambetter and UHC in my state. I've never heard of Ambetter, and it's an HMO, and I'm just like, I want to do the PPO so that way I can go see who I need to see, because there's in-network and out-of-network coverage in the PPO, whereas in the HMO, it's very much in your area, and there's a lot of more hoops you've got to jump through. That's why it tends to be cheaper, and so I was scared to do that. So anyways, I've been talking your ear off for a while before we've gotten into this. I just thought it would be interesting to kind of explain what's going on, kind of explain what I'm doing to kind of get through the situation. That way, if you ever find yourself in this, you kind of have heard how someone else has handled it, and then just kind of let you know about that video that I'm planning on making. And so if you have any questions, like drop those below. So let me go ahead and actually get into unstuffing for all of this. So I already know that my eating out is not necessarily quite as strict as I was hoping. A lot of ups and downs, and as you guys know, when I get stressed, my wanting to cook goes out the door, and food is kind of a way I cope, which is not the most healthy. I definitely know that, but it's just kind of what I do. So we probably ate out a lot more than we should have. So let's see how bad that is. So 110 plus 30 plus 80 plus 8 plus 13 plus 22. So 263, let me double check. 30, 80, 8, 13, 22. So 263, honestly, that's not very bad. We do a lot worse than that, so I'm kind of proud of that. So let me go ahead and grab the 200. That's why you see me wrote the 63, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to find that somewhere. So just for ease of unstuffing, I just kind of jot down notes to kind of keep myself on track of what I'm trying to do. So Eating out is gone, so let me go ahead and check these off. Okay, and then groceries, let's see, I did $90 at Walmart, and then I had paid for my kid's school lunch literally the morning that he ended up getting let go, but I had no idea that he was. So that was the other thing. I don't know if I said this, but I popped on our school's website and I looked at the like free and reduced lunch program to see if that could be something we could qualify for, and it was. So my husband filled out the application for us and we shot it over to our school, and they got back to us and they approved our application for that. So my kids will get free lunch at school, which is awesome. They're not necessarily the happiest about that because they like to sometimes take their lunch, which, I mean, in a normal situation, I wouldn't care, but it's kind of hard to have them take their lunch knowing that they actually throw away half of their food, given the fact that we're going to potentially struggle for money here. I told them, like, you know what? You get free lunch at school, so you really need to be eating the lunch at school. If you're still hungry because you didn't like it when you get home, I'm happy to feed you at home, because food gets thrown away a little bit less at home than they would be at school, because they'll pack this elaborate lunch and not have time to eat it all, and then they'll just throw it away. So I'm like, we can't be doing that right now. So that is awesome. So for the rest of the school year, they will have free lunch, which is amazing. I honestly wish that the COVID free lunch had just like lasted forever, because I mean, it would be nice, because I know logistically for the schools it made it easier. There was less paperwork that they had to fill out and everything like that, and it allowed them to get their money paid back a little bit faster. So that is something that I think would have been nice to have kind of stick around. I know that there are a few states that have that. Illinois is not one. I know there's pockets of areas in my state that do them. There's a district in our area that does free lunch for all students. So my school district does not. So $137 for groceries. So I'm gonna need to break some of this. Actually, let's do 150. So plus 63 minus 150. So it's 50, so that's cool. So I think between everything, it was, so 163, I'm just making sure. So 263 plus 90 plus 47. Yeah, that's $400. So I'm actually very proud of myself, and you got to celebrate your wins when you have them, that between groceries and eating out, I did in fact stay within budget, because those ones I'm kind of okay, like going back and forth with. So I am actually very proud of myself here. So we saved $400 under budget for food. So that is a win. So I will take it. So the only other thing in this wallet is the gas. So let's do 49 and then 63. So 112. Let's see if we have enough in gas. This is here. So 20, 40, 60, 81. 1, so that's 6. So let me break this 20. So 20, 40, 60, 81. Okay, so I have this 20. I'm going to move it off camera. And then I have 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 10, 11, 12. So put all these 20s there, and then here. Okay, so then the gas is taken care of. Let's see, how much do I have left in gas? This one's gonna be interesting, because I thought I was gonna get a handle on what it would be for gas with my husband working in Missouri and blah, 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 and us now having the 2 expeditions, but that's what you get for thinking that you're gonna have an idea of what's going on and life throws you a curveball. So 20, 45, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4. So $54 in there. So I have no idea what is a good gas budget. So I guess for now, I'm just gonna stick in what I think and kind of go from there. So this is all for now. I will come back to this if I need, because I have my buffer categories in there. So I marked all those off. I guess let's go envelope by envelope. So personal care, I have 60. Let's see how much So I think this is the only personal care. So let's check it off. And it's 50 or 49. So I'm going to put 3 20s and take back 11. So I have $11 in personal care still. So that's nice. And then this is the one that I know I don't have enough because, let's see here. The first thing is these fingerprint handles. I've talked about them before. We think that some of our kids, if not all of them, may be on the spectrum. And so there's some struggles that you deal with as far as behaviors and stuff when it comes to that. And so my boys have been a little difficult when it comes to us asking them to maintain the cleanliness of their room. So I've told them I don't want them all going in each other's rooms because then that turns into a fight and so-and-so was in my room and they trashed it. So my workaround to that is I got handles that open and unlock with your fingerprint. So I have keyed each boy's thumbprint to their handle and then me and my husband's thumbprint as well. So that way they don't have that excuse anymore because I tell them basically, if they've gotten in your room, somehow you've let them in. Well, joke was on me when I did that because our oldest son's door, none of our doors were installed properly. We tried to install them ourselves and didn't do a good job, and then we paid a handyman to redo them, and he did a bad job as well. And so his doors come loose because he sometimes will like shake it when he gets angry, and so with it not being installed very well, that caused problems. Well, we had just done doors in our basement, and I put in some like colored doors because I wanted to try it out because I was kind of bored with like the white doors, and so I went with like a dark gray, and I love them. We did them in the basement just to kind of try them out and see if we liked, because then it wasn't as big of an investment because it was like I think we ended up buying 3 doors because we bought the door for the top of the stairs as well. So I loved them, so I knew going forward we were going to probably do that. Well, when I went to install the handle and it wouldn't work because the latch doesn't necessarily catch. It's been the problem ever since the guy installed them and stuff. So like, yes, my son made it worse, but it wasn't always latching to begin with. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy a couple more doors for some of the rooms upstairs. So I think my oldest son is getting a new door. My oldest daughter is getting a new door. Our main floor bathroom is getting a new door. And then I think our master bedroom is getting a new door. And so I love the handles for my boys, and so I decided I wanted to go ahead and get some more because the doors we ended up getting, they come with black hardware. So at first I was just going to reuse our brushed nickel handles with them, but I really liked the way the black handles look because I went out and bought some black handles when we did the basement, and they are really sharp and look really nice. So I bought new handles for those doors in the black finish because I knew going forward we would be swapping the doors out. So I'm like, I have to buy a handle anyways for them. I don't have to, but I was going to. So it kind of minimized how bad the cost was. So anyways, we bought 3 more. So my daughter whined and she wanted one for her room. And so I'm like, fine, whatever, you can have one. And then me and my husband were like, we need something to lock our kids out of our room because they don't really respect boundaries. That's another problem when it comes to children that may or may not be on the spectrum or have other like neurodivergencies. They don't really respect boundaries very well. So we're constantly telling them, this is our room, you need to stay out. Well, our oldest daughter, she's gotten really bad. She'll like go in our room and then she'll try and find my jewelry and then like steal it. So I had a whole bunch of those like charmed memories, charm bracelet charms, and my husband kept them in a box on his nightstand. Well, she found them and she took them all in her room, and those charms are really expensive. They can be like $25 a piece, and I have quite a bit of them. So I was very frustrated on that, and she just doesn't respect to doing that. And then one thing that really was a wake-up call that like we really need to figure something out is that she went into my husband's desk, got a book of stamps that was pretty much brand new, and thought they were stickers and played with them. So like a whole entire brand new book of stamps, which stamps are not cheap, she just stuck all over her room. So we tried to salvage with the kid, but we're like, you know what, something has to happen. So one of the handles is for our room, and then I think the third handle is going to be for the basement, because there's some times in which I want to be able to be down here and then them not popping down here, because to most extents we told them that they're really not supposed to be down here, but they want to be down here because it's not as jammed with stuff as it is in some of the other floors. So my oldest likes to come down here and pretend like he's a SWAT officer and just play. So that's kind of the thought process there. So we picked up 3 more, and this was all before my husband's job ended. So it was some spending. I'm really chatty today, so hopefully you guys like chatty videos. I love them. So let's see. So household was $130, and then we got some hot tub chemicals. This was on my auto delivery because I have subscribe and save on Amazon to kind of cut down on some expenses. And so this is for our bromine cartridge. I put that on there. So that's what that is. And then I decided our rugs were getting a little dirty, so I wanted to pull them up and wash them because they're washable rugs. And I have all of our rugs taped down on the floor, and so when I pulled them up, I'm like, I could probably reuse the tape, but I really wanted to get a good scrubbing on my floors while I was washing the rugs, or should I say, I wanted my robot mop to do a good scrubbing. So I ripped the tape off because all it would have done is gum up all of the dirt and nastiness. So I ripped up all the tape, and then I'm like, you know what, I probably need to get another roll of tape because I couldn't find where I put what was left over. So that's what this is. I love the rug tape that I use. I've tried to get some of those like corner tapes. Those didn't work. Those were just a joke. But this tape is like amazing. Like I stuck it down and my rugs don't go anywhere. And I have a crazy dog because he was constantly flinging the rugs all over the place when he was like running in and out. So I love the rug tape I got. Now I've been chit-chatting, so I don't know what I added. So that and that, and then the rug tape. So $169. And I think that's everything. So I know that I don't have that. Okay, so I have 50. So we're gonna put on here 119. This is everything for household. It is. So we'll put the 50 that we have, and let me check the households off, and then we will figure out where we want to come from. I think I'm going to hop into my Purple wallet and just drain my buffer categories. So that should be like another $60. So I have 50 usually for spending, and then I do $10 for miscellaneous. So, okay, sorry for that weird cut. Planner swapped over to a page that I'm like, I don't really want to be showing that. It was some notes for a doctor's appointment, so I'll need to cut that out. So this might be an abrupt transition or cut there. So 119 minus 60 is 59. So that's not horrible to try and find. So let's just continue on and see what we have at the end, and I'll figure out what categories I want to maybe take it from. So household, clothing, there's nothing. Kids, it looks like there is $6. So let's see. I can't do math right now. I'm gonna put 30 in from kids. So 30. So 30 minus 6 minus 59. So now I just need 35. 35. So 24 plus 35 is 59. Okay. So I still have 20. That's a little bit of the spending. I'm weird when it comes to figuring out how I'm gonna cover certain things, because I think that's the only thing in kids. And then pet care is 30. We ended up getting my dogs had their dental appointment this weekend, and so in the dental appointment they put them under. When they put them under, they can do some more things for them. So our younger dog, he was fine, pretty straightforward. The cool thing is they can really get at his toenails because he freaks out on those. So they did a good job on his toenails. And then our older dog, he went under, which we were kind of iffy on whether he was. They x-rayed his lungs. They looked fine, said he would be okay. So he went under. We thought he was going to get some like bigger teeth extracted, but they ended up extracting some like smaller teeth. And then he had like a black skin tag that could have been like a cancerous mask on his thigh. So we had them take that off. Well, since they took the mask off, he needed to have the cone of shame. I didn't really want him to have a cone of shame because it kind of gets in the way and it makes him mad. So this is the inflatable donut collar. So we got that. And then The other pet care thing is I put this supplement. It's like a glucosamine and chondroitin on auto ship because I was going to try that out versus the injectable arthritis medicine, but when he went under, we just decided to do the injectable to see if it did any better on him. He's been really struggling. He can't jump on things anymore, and so we were just trying to like eliminate some of his struggle, so that's what that is. So between those two, $77. I don't think I have that. So I have 41 minus 41. So we're right back to owing more. So 36 plus 35. So $71. I'm gonna have to find somewhere. We'll figure it out. So I checked those off. And then I have car maintenance, which is next. We ended up going through a local car wash, not the one that we have a subscription for, because we only have the subscription on the one car to get the salt off of my car. So we tried one out. We didn't really like it very much, but it's okay. So that's what this is. And then I think that's everything. So on car maintenance, I saw 20, 40, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am going to keep this 25 because this is overfunded. 23 is what our car wash subscription is. So 71 minus 25 is 46. So 46 is what we're working on right now. I need to just open like the one notebook, but I like always keep mine all open. So I'm gonna have some fun cutting some of this stuff out. Okay, so I did that. Birthday is the last thing, and I believe that that's in the blue wallet. Where is birthday? So birthday has 36, so we'll do 41 and take the 5 back. So in birthday we have 26. Next birthday coming up is mine. No, I did not buy myself a toy. That's for our youngest daughter. I got like one of those like whack-a-mole toys. I thought it would be fun for her. So my other kids will probably also use it. So that's kind of me buying a little bit ahead for her birthday because her birthday is in May. And then the last thing I have to unstuff before the $46 is Easter. I just had an idea of where I was going to take the $46 from. Oh, hold on. Let me do that. I'm going to take the $46, I think, from car tags, as long as it's here. Let's see. Yes. $46 here, because I know that I've overstuffed this, because when we got my Expedition, the plates, instead of just transferring my plates, we ended up just getting brand new plates. So all I have to get for car tags this year is my husband's Expedition and then our utility trailer. So I know that this is overstuffed, so I'm just gonna steal from there. That makes sense to me. And then the last thing is Easter. I started getting ahead on that because I'm like, let me do that before things get crazy, and I forget and then cause all kinds of problems. So let's see what we have here. So 110 plus 56, and honestly this is stuff that I would have bought anyways because they needed to be bought. So I have 160, so that takes care of almost everything, and then I still need $6. So where am I gonna take that from? I'm gonna take $5 from Thanksgiving because that's really far away and that shouldn't be that big of an expense. And then I don't think I have any singles in any of these categories. I don't. So let me see what I have here. Does car tags have a single? I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. Memberships doesn't either. I think birthdays does. Birthdays has a single, so why not? Okay. So there's that. So everything should be covered. Now let me check take everything off. Okay, so let me go ahead and add this up, then we'll count this and make sure it's all here, and then we will be good to go. So 1,023 is my calculations. So yeah, it looks like we might be right. So let's go ahead and count this and make sure it's all here. So we have 100 in the bank, 200, 300, 54, 55, so that's 500, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 70, 85, 10, 25, 30, 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Let's count this again. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, hold on. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1,000, and then 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So it is the 1,023. I'm like, I think the 10s threw me off. For some reason, those do a lot. So I have all the money unstuffed. Awesome that I only had like one placeholder as the unstuffing. So that was kind of cool. So this is a solid $923 going back to the bank, which is awesome. Again, I have a feeling we're gonna have to eat into our buffer because we have all of our money that is represented by placeholders in banks and our bank accounts, and then we also have a pretty generous buffer on top of that. So, but with my husband being unemployed, we're gonna have to eat into that. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit more strategic about getting all of our cash back to the bank and kind of keeping a closer eye on it and not sitting on it as much. So that is something I'm gonna have to get used to. But I will go ahead and probably reuse this cash for the stuffing for next week. So that one should be interesting. I don't know if I'm just gonna kind of continue on with kind of about normal or whether I'm gonna get really strict with our budget or not. I gotta figure that out. I'm still kind of adjusting to the change. I mean, technically it hasn't happened because he's not gotten his first unemployment check, so we're still living off of basically what his original income was. So anyways, I hope you guys had fun watching this video. Also, stay tuned for that managing credit card debt video that I plan on posting here sometime soon. I just gotta kind of get the energy to kind of sit down, draft my thoughts, so that way it's not like all kinds of crazy. I plan on throwing a lot of information at you guys, so it'll probably be a long video, or at least I'm hoping that's my intention. I could start filming it and then it goes really fast because I talk fast, so what I would think might be long doesn't end up being long. So, but I want to try and brain dump as much information that I have, so that way if you're facing a similar situation, you have kind of a starting point. Because back when I did the debt freedom debt relief program, I wouldn't be able to do it as easily on my own because I didn't have all of the knowledge. I went through that, so I learned a lot about kind of different options because I saw what they were doing. So that was some set of knowledge. I've also worked for a bank in their recovery collections area, so I learned a lot there as far as like how banks operate, what they do and what they don't do. And then when COVID happened and my husband was laid off, I got some more information, like directly dealing with different creditors. So I'll kind of like give you an idea of, well, this is my experience and this is what I ran into, this is what I did, this is how it helped me, and so forth. So again, I just want to kind of help someone who might be in a similar situation, because knowledge is power and can be very helpful as far as helping you get things resolved and stuff. So anyways, that's all I have for you today, guys. I hope you guys had fun, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.